What's going on, everybody? So, welcome to. Uh-uh. Sorry for that weird pause. Had to go get my belt. But anyway, welcome to another Monday Night Raw review with LilBigMan. And this was a unique go home show for the King and Queen of the Ring pay per view because it was very. They did something that I haven't usually seen them do, which is they didn't focus on like the main story, like on the main or like the main champion, I should say, which is Damian Priest. The dominant story was Chad Gable, and it was a refreshing thing. But to know what I'm talking about, let's jump straight into it. Um, they started off with Sami Zayn coming out cutting the promo. The reason why you see this picture I'm gonna put up here is gonna be for both the match and the promo because basically was one and the same. When they was making their entrance with Chad Gable and Sami made their entrance, it was just a match. So technically, I can say they start off with the first match of the night, which is Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, but they both will cut entrance before the match actually, cut promos before the match actually start. Sami Zayn came out basically to talk about how personal this was going to be for him, or he was talking about the different aspects of it. There's a triple threat match, but each person represents a different thing. He said Sami said that Chad represents a personal, stake in this, while Bronson Reed was just business because Bronson Reed doesn't care about anything but getting the Intercontinental Championship. Where Chad Gable is personal because he suplexed him out of his wife's arms and basically disrespected him in front of his wife. And I also like the little analogy. He said that both he, Chad, and Bronson represent three different things. Chad is the mind. He represents the mind part of this. Him himself. Sami represents the soul, while Bronson Reed represents the body, and that he put his money on the soul. But that's when Chad Gable would come out, and he basically would say that he would come out and degrade the Alpha Academy for one. Basically calling them a bunch of failures and degrading them for not doing what he needed them to do last week when it comes to Otis and Tozawa. But he degraded Maxine for not being in the finals and going to Jeddah for the finals of the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. But he basically, while berating them, he tells Sami that he don't need to pin him to beat him. I mean, he don't need to pin him to win the Intercontinental Championship, but he will pin him because not only will he take the championship from him, he's going to take his soul from him. That's what Sami alludes to the fact that they're supposed to have a match tonight, and since they both are in the ring dressed to compete, they might as well have the match right here, right now. Thus, we get to the match itself, which is a pretty good opening match. It was pretty good. The main thing here about the match was that it was mostly, I want to say, it was mostly about the fact that Chad wanted the Alpha Academy to cheat on his behalf, and he did it. I like that they did it one by one instead of all together. Maxine was first, then. Excuse me. Then Tozawa, and then finally Otis, with Maxine and Tozawa choosing not to cheat, to which he got mad and threw them out himself, like the referee would do. But said Chad Gable did it himself, and he threw both Maxine and Tozawa from ringside, and then he made Otis do it. And Otis too resisted the need to cheat for him. He had a moment where, like, basically, in all those moments, he kept like either throwing Sami to the outside or putting him where out of the referee's view, and he kept distracting the referee, trying to get them to hit him. And I think with Otis, the first time he was thrown outside, he was thrown on the outside, and Otis kept going like this, like he was going to do it. Then he's like, I can't do it. I just can't. And Otis would get smacked and yelled at again. And then out of this time, for the first time in this match, when he didn't try to do it on purpose, this time he legitimately just was doing something that had the referee distracted. Otis then would attack Sami Zayn. When Sami Zayn had Chad lined up for the Huluna kick, he would like clothesline Sami Zayn while he was in the corner, allowing Chad to hit the Chaos Theory suplex for the victory, giving Chad Gable the victory here in this whole. And I'm like, wow, I think that's the first time that Chad Gable's beaten someone, at least to my knowledge, that was the champion that he was going after. So I'm like, okay, they actually gave him the victory, but then I'm like, probably not going to be winning this coming Saturday. Then they cut like a Io Sky like video package promo, basically talking about how she conquered and became the women's champion. Now she's gonna become queen of the ring. We got a Chad Gable promo in the backstage where they was getting ready to get interviewed and asked, about what happened, but then some noise would happen in the background. It turns out Cruz was attacked by Carlito, to which the camera, everything was drawn attention towards that. So Chad Gable didn't really get to say what he was going to say. But this wouldn't be like I said, this night was dominated by Chad Gable. So the match and this promo is not the only time we will see Chad Gable. Then we get Braun Breaker. I think Bronson Reed did show up too, but that's later on in the night. But we got Braun Breaker versus Kale, and Kale, I guess, is a guy from NXT, and that was also in that WWE Speed. Side note, I haven't never watched WWE Speed, so. But this was a very quick match. But this wasn't more. It wasn't about the match itself. Like, this was very quick. It was more so about the story they was telling. So when they got in the ring, because he got a jobber's entrance, while Braun Breaker got his actual televised entrance, and then with the bell run, instead of like locking up with his opponent, he just like went into a corner and started talking to himself. He at first you don't put me in the King of the Ring tournament. Now, like, he got mad that Adam Pearce put him up against somebody like this, so he got mad and speared Kale. And I think he just kept brutalizing him to the point where the referee had to call the match and award Braun Breaker as the victor. And you even heard Braun Breaker telling the referee he can't finish or compete, get him out of the ring. But Braun then got an idea. He started brutalizing him even more, even after the fact that he won the match, to the point where he was beating him up. I think he was going to hit him with the steel steps. I think he had speared him like again. I want to say he speared him like 2 or 3 times. I think it's most likely it was 2. But he was going to hit him with a chair, but they stopped him, and then you can see him like when he had like propped the steel steps up in a way where you can stick your head in between those two like this, like in those 2 little grooves. And Braun Breaker came over there and smacked it and hit him in the head with the chair, but you could tell he obviously just hit all steps. But the illusions that he hit him with the chair and the impact, which says he was in between the steps, that made it worse. Yeah, but that wouldn't be the Braun Breaker's only. He too will be seen later on in the night. Then we got a backstage promo with Lyra Valkyria being being interviewed about her upcoming match with Io Sky, and she would get a big endorsement from Becky Lynch. I think was this the time? No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. No, because this was not the only time Lyra had. Everybody today had promos like backstage twice. So I was trying to see was this one. This was the first one. The one I was thinking about happens later on too. But other than that, then we jump to the third match of the night, which is Lyra Valkyria, um, Valkyrie, Lyra Valkyrie, um, in the which is the semifinals of the Queen of the Ring tournament, or yeah, the Queen of the Ring tournament. Um, this versus Io Sky, and this was good. This was good. I enjoyed it. This was probably like the match of the night. If I to be honest, it's I'm looking at the rest of the matches and I'm just like, the only other match is Gunther versus Jay that could give that a run for his money, but I will give this match of the night because it was pretty decent. It was. Uh, Lyra and Io tore down the house. This match. I swear, I think it went on for like at least 20-25 minutes. I could swear both this match and the Jay versus Gunther match got the longest run times, by far. But this went on pretty long, and the longer it went, the more the crowd was getting behind it, and by the end, everybody was thoroughly entertained. Uh, Lyra, it was an interesting choice. I guess it's to protect Io. Lyra won, but she didn't win like using her finisher. She just did a shock roll up victory. So I guess it's to protect Io. Especially how they had Io afterwards. So I'm guessing this was more so to protect Io, but also had her move in. Because I guess no, because that's only for the men's side. I don't think it's like that for the women's side. I'll get to where I mean later on. Yeah, I'll get to that later on. Though it'd be interesting to see if they're gonna actually have Bianca Belair beat Nia or have Nia go over Bianca. Um, then we got a promo from Lyra. She was interviewed. She gave her thoughts on how she felt about winning the match. Then we got a backstage promo with Miz and R-Truth, which they were discussing their upcoming tag team championship match against Judgment Day's Finn Balor and JD McDonough. With R-Truth comically saying that Andre the Giant got their back, and Miz is like, I don't know how to tell you this truth, but Andre the Giant passed like some 30 some years ago. He's gone, and he was like, "Passed, gone where?" And then he was like, and they called me crazy. Oh no, he did that afterwards, but it was obvious that he was confused. He confused Braun Strowman with Andre the Giant. And he did. He was like, admit when R-Truth left, he looked up. Miz was like, you know what? If you out there watching this big guy, we could use a miracle. And he was like, and Truth came back and said, who are you talking to? He was like, nobody, Truth. Let's just go. He gonna say, hey, and they called me crazy. I said, oh my God, Truth is a national treasure. Then we got an Ilya Dragunov promo where he was talking about basically having to score to settle with Gunther, and that he gives Jay all his praise and whatnot, but then he would get interrupted by Ricochet, who would basically tell Gunther that him and Ilya is not done, and that anytime they want to run it back, but they noticed something, and it looked like Ricochet pushed Ilya out the way, and he would get speared by Braun Breaker, who would just leave him there withering in pain. And it looked like Ilya was seething too. So we might end up getting like either a match with Braun Breaker versus Ilya or Braun Breaker versus Ricochet. One of them is going to happen first. Then we get a Judgment Day promo where they were just talking backstage about how things have fallen off the rails and they're not like it's not like them. Uh, what you would call it? Damian Priest laid down the law on Carlito, telling him that because of what he did last week, he earned his keep to be welcome here this week. That he got to keep earning his keep if he want to become a full part, a full member of the Judgment Day. And I think Finn Balor told Damian that he wished it was him and Damian going after the tag titles, but he understand because he's the champ now. So him and JD gonna get the job done and bring back the tag titles. We got a Gunther promo where he basically talked about how he was wrong about what he said with his when he criticized Jey Uso about his interest and how he got everybody to go like this. He admitted that he was wrong because everybody's behind him and he's becoming more and more of a superstar. But that didn't mean it don't mean nothing because he said I will give you a good showman like wrestler, flashy, you know how to get the crowd behind you type wrestler. He's the better in-ring competitor, and he's going to prove it tonight when he beats Jey Uso and goes on to the finals. And then we had a random. This was a lot. There's a lot that happened backstage. Then we got a random encounter with Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark, where they was getting prepared and ready for their match later on tonight. Because it was announced there was going to be a fatal 4-way tag team match to determine the next number one contenders to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill's WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. And they would have the strange encounter would be a return of Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville is back, and she looked like she was trying to give them a proposition, but Shayna Baszler stopped it. But that wouldn't be the only time we see them two as well. More so anyway. Then we get the fourth match of the night, which is the Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day, JD McDonough and Finn Balor for the World Tag Team Championships, which was a good match. I loved it. I enjoyed it. And of course, Braun Strowman was the guy in question. Would come help even the odds when things got a little bit of tomfoolery, thanks to Carlito. Braun Strowman would come out and even the things up, allowing Truth to hit an AA on JD McDonough for the victory. I love that he does that because they said that they always be saying that the whole story is John Cena is R-Truth childhood hero, even though R-Truth is older than John Cena. See, afterwards, so this is the one I was talking about. So Lyra is backstage, and I think she was getting talked. She was talking again with Becky Lynch about the victory, and she was getting congratulated, and she would leave, and Liv would come up and congratulate her and saying that I'm surprised that you ain't out here helping her set me up like you did last week. And she's like, speaking of the devil, making Lyra look because she think Becky has came back, but turned out it was a fake out, and Liv would smack Lyra for helping her set her up last week. I'm like, Liv is fully committing to this hill, and we'll get to that in a minute. We had a backstage promo where Sammy is confirmed by Bronson Reed, who basically doubles down on the fact that he doesn't care about what he's got going on with Chad Gable. All he cares about is that championship and winning that championship as Saudi. Then we get a Becky Lynch promo where she comes out and talks about her passion for the business and whatnot. She does. She talks about Liv Morgan too. That how we're dealing with a different Liv Morgan. How they both have matches with each other, and they always push each other and fight each other. But this is a different Liv than from the Liv she's used to fighting. This is a whole different Liv who would do nothing to stop. Nothing to who wouldn't stop at nothing to become champion. And this would bring out Liv Morgan to where they would have a back and forth about Liv calling Becky selfish and not knowing All she is that she don't care about the people. All she cares about is herself. Um, and they both declared they will both beat each other for those titles. At I think they also will be at Saudi. They basically declare they're gonna beat each other. But I will put out that Liv Morgan really leaned into the heel character. She definitely did. She had like she this time she's instead of being the heel, but she coming out and high fiving the crowd. She actually dogged the crowd out and said that the only reason why they cheer for her is on the side because they got their head so far up her ass. So I like that. I like that she's leaning into now being the heel, just like they did with Drew. Um, the Judgment Day, and then we'll cut a promo uh, about it was a backstage promo where they upset that they didn't win the titles, and this is where they keep talking about they don't recognize it, so that then change need to come, and that he put they made JD go to find Alan Pierce to set up a match with Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, between him and Braun Strowman. Um, then we had a backstage promo where Xavier Woods is basically cleared for competition, and he would get a strange visit from Karrion Kross, who was talking to him and told him it's not too late to turn back the clock, as he told Kofi. Then we will get the fifth match on the night, which is Damage Control versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter versus Maxine Dupree, Ivy Niles, and Zoe Stark and Sarah Blazer for the number one contendership to the Women's Tag Team Championship. This is the Fatal 4-Way, which was a good match. I enjoyed it. It picked up towards the end, especially when it comes to Shayna Blazer and Zoe Stark. I would have to say, other than the standouts was them two, Shayna Blazer and Zoe Stark, but was also Maxine Dupree. Maxine Dupree and Ivy stood out to me too. So I can see it's a bright future for these guys. But I wish the Party Girls would have got the victory here because they do deserve it because they are a true legit tag team. Wasn't Frankenstein like most of the teams in this match. But hey. Shayna Blazer and Zoe Stark would get the victory here. Where unique, I think they pinned Maxine Dupree with a unique winning combination. Then we got Ludwig Kaiser promo where he basically was trash talking Samus, saying that Samus is not here to answer his challenge. Instead, he wanted to be what he called a keyboard warrior and talk about Ludwig over the internet. And then Drew, after Ludwig left, Drew would come in and take over, and basically said that he criticized Alan Pierce for not having him on the show and not having his best player, do something. But he did mention that he's not going to whine and complain. He got what he wanted. He got a championship match when he's cleared, and that's been the goal. Then we got another Chad Gable and Sami Zayn promo. This one, not Sami Zayn, but Chad Gable and Otis promo, because I think Otis, and I forgot to say too, when Sami had that confrontation with Bronson Reed, after Bronson Reed left, Otis would come in and apologize to Sami for what he did. And Sami forgives him because he understands what Otis is going through and that he's been there himself before with the bloodline. And then this was a continuation of that where Chad interrupts and stumbles upon Chad. Otis stumbles upon Chad having a conversation with the Creed brothers. They was laughing. So it seemed like they was laughing with Chad Gable and Otis. And Otis was trying to tell him that he would apologize to Sami, but Chad think this is just a strategy to get the sucker Sami in. He doesn't see that Otis truly meant that. He really apologized, and he told him that he got them a ticket. He got Otis a ticket to come with him to Jeddah, and that I guess at Jeddah they will he will try to use Otis to get him the Intercontinental Championship. Then we get to the main event, which is forgot. Jay Uso also had a promo. We retort into what Gunther said earlier, and Jay will be like the the shot after he get done with his promo, he would be the one where they follow him from the back to the front. At this time, the cameraman didn't get lost. After he talked about why he would beat Gunther because he almost had him beat last time and it wasn't for the interference. So this time he's gonna beat Gunther and go on to become King Yeet. And then we get the main event where, like I said, the camera follow Jay from the back to the front. Jay's really got something going on, man, with Bray Wyatt's Fireflies. It looks beautiful to see them all yeeting together. But yeah, we get to the main event, which is the semifinals for the men's side, which is Jay Uso versus Gunther, and this was definitely a banger way to end Monday Night Raw, and they did that. It felt the ending did feel a little rushed, but for the most part, it was good. I enjoyed it. It had some great spots, but like I said, it was like the ending seemed like a little rushed because they only had like 5 or 10 minutes left of the show. So I feel like, okay, what is y'all doing? But no, they just have Gunther win by choking out. Gunther put Jay in a chokehold, and right after that, like as soon as the referee determined that it was done, that was it. The match was over, and the promo, the end graphics hit, and that was it. That was the end of the show. So I'm like, they must have ran out of time and rushed that ending. But the rest of the match was good. The ending was a little weird and rushed, but the rest of the match was good. Yeah, I want to give this episode of Monday Night Raw, since it was a go home show, and it did pretty good to get me, ready for Kingdom Ring. So I give it a 7 out of 10. Yeah, I was gonna give it an 8, but I'm like, nah. It was a 7 out of 10, so still pretty decent. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought, and if you enjoyed my review to Monday Night Raw, you hit this button right here, not that duck, but my tag card there for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoy videos so much, you want to support the channel, all you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button. Do all those great things because we're trying to get to 10,000 or 10K subscribers. So if you can help me out with that, guys, I love you and appreciate it. And as always, hitting you on these videos for more amazing content that go anywhere because I got more for you guys. Peace, and I'm sorry for the long video.